Hello student, here are some important questions related to applet and JDBC. First question is illustrate the life cycle of applet. What if before that one we understand what is applet. So applet are some of the small Java program that we are using in the internet computing when we are using network or internet by the applet program only. So applet are the small program which can be transported from over the internet from one computer to the another computer, and applet program are run by using applet where, or we can run it by any of the web browser like Firefox, Chrome, etc., which will support Java. Applet program perform operations like arithmetic operation. It can display graphics, it can play the sound, and whatever be the user input, it will accept that one. Okay, a part of applet. Now here is the question is that what is the life cycle of applet? What is applet? That one is a 2 marks question. Okay, so approximately some half page you have to write. Okay, now another for long question is illustrate the life cycle of applet. Okay, so applet life cycle is divided into 4 stages. First stage is applet initialization. In the case of initialization, applet is loaded in the browser, and init, that is the initialization method, is called at the time of initialization of the applet. Second one is the running method. In the case of running method, the initialization init method, okay, that one is completed and applet enter into the start state. Okay, so in the start stage, start method is used. After start method, what happen, it goes to the running state. Okay, at that time the applet started. Okay, in the running state the applet is started and it executing. Okay, so if stop method is called, in that time the applet is idle or it will be stopped. After that one, with the stop method is called, the applet will be paused or stop for certain amount of time. After that one, the destroy method is there. With the destroy method, what happened, with the destroy method applet will be closed or it will be died. Okay, so the next question is what is layout manager? List and explain different layout manager with suitable example. So what is layout manager? In with the help of Java we can create the graphical user interface. Now this graphical user interface is useful to interact with the client or with the user, but that graphical, to design the graphical user interface, layout manager is responsible. Layout manager will manage the component of the component of the GUI. What are the components of the GUI? Components of the GUI are like button, text field, text box, and option button, like that. Okay, and apart of that one, containers are there. What are the containers? Containers are like frame, panel, applet. So this all are the containers. In the container, component will be there. So layout manager will responsible for managing the component in the container. So there are different layout manager which is using different rules, algorithm and the rule to define the size and position of each component. Okay, so first layout manager is the border layout. Border layout, what it is doing, border layout is having the 5 component region, that is north, west, north, south, west, east, center. Okay, so this 5 region is there. According to that one, it will arrange the components in the container. For example, here the border layout is there. So here if you see border layout, in that north, west, south, east, and the center. So these are the position in the border layout. So first of all, layout manager, what is it is doing? Layout manager are the object that determine how the how the component are organized in the computer, how it will be look, and what are the how it will be look, and what are the interface of the what are the interface of the container. Okay, so layout manager is an interface that is implemented by all the classes of the layout manager. So layout manager is an interface which is implemented by the classes of the layout manager. Okay, so first one is the border layout. Already I discussed. So border layout is having the 5 region, and whatever be the component, like here it is calling the button and the text area. So in button and the text area, if you see here in the frame, but button is added in the south, another button is added in the south, and third button is added in the center. Text area is added in the center. Okay, next one is the grid layout. Grid layout is the component is stored in the form of some matrix. Okay, so there is row and column is there, like this one is the grid layout, and this one is the grid layout in which rows and columns are there, and it is in the form of matrices. Okay, next one is coming to the next one, which is the flow. I just minimize it. Next one is the flow layout. Flow layout will arrange as we are writing, in our notebook. So we are writing from left to right, then when we come to the end, we will go again to the left corner, and again we write to we keep on writing to till right. Then when it end, again next line will start with the left, and it goes to the right corner. So flow layout is say where the component is arranged from aligned to the left, center, and to the right of the container. Okay, when it is over, then it will wrap to the next row. Okay, so for example, in the flow layout, if you see, there are in the flow layout there are 3 buttons are there, button 1, button 2, and because button 3 size is not sufficient to come next to the button 2, so it comes to the next line in the center. Okay, so next question is describe the 4 types of database drivers of JDBC. First of all, what is JDBC? JDBC is Java database connectivity. It is Java database connectivity is required because whenever the API will interact or connect with the database, at that time JDBC is required. Okay, there are 4 types of JDBC database driver, and each one is having its own advantage. Okay, so first one is the JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So what JDBC ODBC bridge driver is doing? It will JDBC ODBC bridge driver convert the JDBC call into the ODBC call. Okay, so here if you see in the client side, JDBC ODBC bridge driver is there, and ODBC driver is also exist. ODBC driver is lie on the client machine, and ODBC driver will convert all the JDBC calls into the ODBC function call. What is ODBC? ODBC is open database connectivity. Okay, it need one vendor database library to understand the function calls, and then it can interact a Java application. After that one only Java application can interact with the database. So what is in the JDBC bridge driver? What is required? ODBC driver is required, which is in the client machine, and that will convert all the JDBC call into the ODBC function call. Also, it required vendor database library. This one is the old database driver, and this driver is used before Java 8. After Java 8, this one nowadays it is mainly not used. Okay, it is having many disadvantage, because each and every client machine should be enabled, or should have ODBC driver, so that's why it is somewhat dependent. Next is how to write program for the JDBC ODBC driver. Okay, so for that, two classes is required. One is the connection class, one is the statement class. Connection class is used for the linking, and link location or the path is stored in the URL, and the connection and the statement is used for giving the and statement is used for giving the SQL commands. Okay, so with this one we can perform JDBC JDBC program. Okay, so here it will be statement will be closed. Now next is the native API driver. Next database driver is the native API driver. Native API driver overcome the disadvantage of JDBC ODBC driver. What is the disadvantage of the JDBC ODBC driver? That it is somewhat slow, because it is converting all the function calls of JDBC into the ODBC function calls. Okay, so to overcome from that one, native API driver is used. In the case of native API driver, the client side library, there is one vendor database library is there, and driver convert in this the driver convert JDBC method call into the native call of database API. So here native API will convert JDBC method call. Okay, and it is this driver is not completely written in Java. So this is one of the disadvantage, where it is not completely written in Java. So in all the case, native API is not supported. Another one is that native drivers need to be installed on the native API driver is need to be installed on the client machine. Okay, so whenever Java application want to interact with the database, it first goes to the native API driver, and here the method calls are converted, and then it can interact with the database by using the vendor database library. Okay, now coming to the program, so program is almost same only for JDBC and JDBC ODBC and the native API driver. Here also we are using the connection and the statement connection and the statement classes, and the query will be file. Okay, next one is the network protocol driver. In the case of network protocol driver, what happen, in network protocol driver we are using the middleware server. Okay, so it is using the middleware server. Network protocol driver, or what is the middleware server? Middleware server are the application servers that will convert the JDBC calls directly or indirectly into the vendor specific database protocol. One more thing, here the driver is completely fully written in Java only. Okay, and what is the advantage of network protocol driver? In here the client side library is not required. Okay, if you see here, vendor library or client side library is not there. Whenever Java application want to interact with the database, here the network protocol is there, and the middleware is also known as application server. Okay, so middleware is also known as application server, which will convert all the JDBC call into the vendor specific, whatever be the client side language is there, it will convert into that particular specific database protocol. One more thing is there, middleware will be responsible for the application server performance. It is responsible for the load balancing also and logging also. So here main advantage is there, it is not containing any library, and directly the method call is converted into the vendor specific database call. Here the program is written, again the program is almost same for all the database driver. Please go through it. Next one is fourth driver, which is mostly used. Now question arises, which driver is most efficient? Most efficient is the network protocol driver, which we are using over the internet. One more thing, network protocol driver we can use only where internet connection or network is there. Okay, so mostly we are using network protocol driver in case of internet. Okay, another one is the thin driver. Okay, so to overcome all the advantage of, sorry, all the disadvantage of three driver, thin driver is there. Okay, in the case of thin driver, the driver is completely written in Java. Okay, and this driver is platform independent. It doesn't need any type of software installation or the driver installation. Thin driver convert the JDBC call directly into the vendor specific database call. Okay, it will directly, if you see here, thin driver will convert directly into, it will directly interact, Java application can directly interact with the database with the help of the thin driver. Coming to which driver, JDBC driver is the most efficient. So as we are using networking nowadays, internet is used, so network protocol driver is mostly used and it is considered as most efficient. After that, thin driver, and third one is the native API driver. JDBC and ODBC driver are not at all used nowadays. Okay.